Welcome to the Metal Prognosis. My name is Lee, and on today's video we are looking at two different distortion pedals. And we're going to put them back to back just to see how they sound compared to each other. The first one we have is the TC Electronic Dark Matter distortion pedal, which is pretty cool. And we have the Black Cat Amps Djenttonic distortion pedal as well. So what I thought would be interesting is I got my Harley Benton Mighty 15th amp head here. Let's run them through the effects loop here and just see how they sound and see how it all goes together. So, cue the little cartoon intro, let's start plugging stuff in and let's start making some noise. Okay, now I've got everything set up, ready to go. Grab my low tuning guitar here. And here is the rubbish that we've got coming straight out of the Harley Benton, just on its own. We don't want that. That is not what we're here for. We're here for the distortion. So I've tried to level them out as best as what I could, which wasn't really that hard. Let's start off with the Dark Matter. So I got the level down fully so we don't hear anything, because sometimes running through the effects loop of the Harley Benton or any amp, it can be a little bit overwhelming if you start the level off cranked. So I like to kind of swell it in. All right, let's get the gain. And that's what happens when you push something too much running through the effects loop. All right, so they're very sensitive in those little spots there, so apologise for those squeaks, but you don't realise they're there until they're there. So let's muck around a little bit with the EQ now. All right, we definitely have it on the tip, so I'll have to pull back the level a bit. All right, so we're getting good tone coming through, so to speak. Let's turn it up on the amp a bit because we're, turning the level down, just not getting enough oomph. So that's sounding actually pretty rad. So yeah, that is a quick and straightforward example of the Dark Matter distortion pedal. Let's crank that off. Got the crap. Get the Djenttonic happening. So I've got level down fully, so no sound. So definitely a different beast just straight off the bat. So let's muck around a little bit with not the best playing, but we'll hear about the tone, not just my playing skills at the moment. So that was really bad. Level. I'm probably going to have to run a filter through there just to muck around the levels a bit, so it's a little bit more user-friendly for you guys listening back to it, because yeah, muck around with the levels here and on the amp, it's a little bit up and down, so I'll fix it up for everyone. So that is a very crisp, clean type of distortion. And it gives a nice little twang on the higher end note. Go back to the dark matter. So very different. So I can't really brighten it up too much. Yeah, because it just cut out a bit more bass maybe. Yeah, I don't know, adding a bit more bass is it's a little bit too much more. Too muffled or not, or if it taken out makes it too dry and not dynamic enough. It's all subjective of what you need in the mix and what you want, but just dealing with it now compared to So I think there's definitely a volume difference between them both, but let's push on from there because the show must go on. So let's say that these are the two settings that we want to compare between. Now I know I could spend a little bit more time with the dark matter there because the Djenttonic was a little bit more user-friendly, but we've got to start with somewhere. But let's see how it sounds in the mix because it might fit in a lot more user-friendly when we add double up on the guitars, add some bass and drums. So let's do that right now and find out. So enjoy the jams and we'll have a bit of a chat about it on the other side. All right, time for some final thoughts running through the dark matter compared to the Djenttonic here via the Harley Benton effects loop here. They were very different, absolutely. I felt like, I don't want to punch down on any of these at all, but I say that, but I'm about to. No, it's more so with the setup and the chain that we had right now, the dark matter seemed a lot more sensitive. So if you were to push this more, you would have to definitely cater with the equipment around it as well before it started doing that very nasty little squeal that we copped a couple of times, which I do apologise for, but as I said, you don't know until you actually get it there. Where the Djenttonic, I felt like we could push it a lot more to get a lot more out of it, and we didn't. I don't know how close we came to getting that squeaky sound, but it didn't seem to have any evidence of us giving us that little squeaky, unwanted noise. For the little jam that I did, the Djenttonic definitely suited it better, I think is the best way to put it. It added a lot more aggression. The mids were a lot more pushed to give that really grind type of sound that I love with the low tuning guitar, where the dark matter didn't have that type of dynamic and that type of voicing and quirk that I prefer definitely in that type of jam. But in saying that, this had a lot more low-end dynamic with it. So I think it comes down to not which one's better or worse, but which one would suit a project, whichever it would be. If you're doing a little more like slodgy doom, or a little bit more slower riff-based stuff, maybe a little bit higher tuning, and a lot of palm muting, then the dark matter could work amazing for you. It could be a really, really good choice. But with the type of aggression that I like to bring to my guitar playing, especially with my Ormsby guitar, the Djenttonic definitely paired up better for it in that regards. But like all my videos, definitely keen to hear your thoughts on how you thought about how I ran through it and this little chain, this little setup that we ran for today's video. So thank you very much for joining me in this. It was fun putting them back to back and yeah, grabbing out the Harley Benton again because I haven't pulled that out for a while, so that's lots of fun. and I thoroughly look forward to chatting with you next time. And until next time, please, stay safe.